This is BBC1. Good morning. It's breakfast time.
Hello, it's 6:30 on Monday the 13th of August and a very warm welcome to you from Southend-on-Sea in Essex. Now, over the next 2 weeks, Breakfast Time will be bringing you a breath of fresh air. We'll be broadcasting live 3 times a week from seaside resorts all around Britain. But as you can see, today it's the turn of Southend. And later in the programme, we'll be meeting the man who led his team to victory in the World Cup in 1966 and who's now manager of Southend Football Club, Bobby Moore. We'll also be meeting the popular presenter of Play School, Floella Benjamin. Now, Southend is the home of VAT and Inland Revenue, and we've managed to inveigle the men who normally spend time behind their desks sorting out your tax forms down here to the beach to have a game of football. So if you live in Southend and you're watching the programme right now, why not come down to the pier to support your local teams? We've certainly got a fine array of characters down here today. Someone is trying to get in on the act as well. Good morning. He's just enjoying himself, I presume. And if you're watching, why not come down and join us? We've got a lot of people down here for you, and Francis is with us as well. In the meantime, Mike's in London holding the fort at home. Good morning to you, Mike. What do you think about this kind of carry-on then?
Well, I take it that was your agent just walked past in the back of the shop there.
We've got a whole assortment of fine guys down here, I can tell you.
I hope you got your sun oil with you as well.
Yes, it's overcast at the moment, but the sun is going to come out later, I'm told.
Jolly good, jolly good. Well, back here in the studio, we'll be meeting one of the few women journalists excuse me, who works on a man's magazine, and that's Kathy Galvin, who's the features editor of Penthouse. She's reviewing the papers for us today. And we end our fortnight of Olympic coverage with a look at some of the triumphs and disasters of a fortnight of world-class competition. First, though, let's catch up on the latest news, and here is Fern Britton.
Thank you. Good morning. The Northern Ireland office has defended the RUC for the way they dispersed a Republican rally in Belfast in which one man was killed and 20 others injured. The police opened fire with plastic bullets as they tried to arrest an American IRA sympathiser who'd been banned from the province. A statement from the Northern Ireland office, referring to Sinn Féin, said, "The blame for the death and injuries must be placed firmly on those in charge of organising the events." In the Republic, Peter Barry, the Foreign Affairs Minister, said he was very concerned about the incident, and it's understood he wants disciplinary action against the RUC men involved. The police said they'd only used the plastic bullets to defend themselves. Further violence was reported last night as youths petrol-bombed RUC patrols. One of the 2 policemen injured in Saturday's landmine explosion in County Tyrone has died in hospital. The 500-pound bomb went off as the 2 men were driving on a road between Gortin and Greencastle. The dead man, Sergeant Malcolm White, was married without children. In Nottinghamshire, police say they have turned away 2,500 would-be pickets. At Worksop Colliery, there were 24 arrests and 2 policemen were hurt. At Shirebrook in Derbyshire, nearly 400 pickets have been assembling. President Reagan, in a joking mood, said he'd ordered the bombing of the Soviet Union. His quip, which he never thought would be made public, came as he was testing the sound level before a broadcasting session. He said he'd signed legislation outlawing the Soviet Union and that bombers would be dispatched in 5 minutes. The Olympic Games have ended as they began, with a true Hollywood extravaganza. The closing ceremony was everything the Americans had promised, and for several hours the Olympic Stadium resembled a film set. It'll be 4 years before the next Games, which will be held in South Korea. Star attraction is a Mark 11 Spitfire built in 1944 for photographic reconnaissance work. She's likely to fetch over £250,000. And that's the end of the summary. I'll be back at 7 o'clock with a full bulletin. Now, Selina.
Thank you very much, Fern. We're in Southend, Francis and I. What do you know about Southend?
Not a lot. The pier's a mile long, and that tells me the visibility's a mile. And that's about really all I know. It's a place for works beanos, I'm told, as well, or it used to be. The weather here's not all that good, is it? A bit fresh.
Yes.
A real fresh day. Yeah. The cloud is beginning to break. I can see a bit of blue. About enough to make a pair of trousers, so it should be all right this afternoon. In fact, this cloud has pushed right across the south of England. Even it's given a little bit of rain. A few puddles around over many southern counties of England. Just about a millimetre, a trace of rain. Further north, though, Midlands and further north, a beautiful day. Sunshine this morning. Temperatures into the 70s once again, like yesterday. Further north still, quite a lot of cloud over the northwest of Scotland and the north of Ireland. And later on, late afternoon and early evening, some rain turning up in the northwest of Scotland. So basically a good day, apart from very southern counties of England. Southend just on the edge of that cloud, the middle bit good, and the top bit wet later.
So that's it, the weather forecast for you. Later we'll be joined by Floella Benjamin and Bobby Moore, so keep tuned to breakfast time this morning. We're coming live, as you can see, from Southend-on-Sea in Essex. Time now to go back to Mike for some more what, Mike?
Some more what? Well, we've got quite a bit of what in the programme this morning, actually. And in fact, we're going to be taking quite a big look at the final closing day of the Olympics. Bob Wilson is with me now. You must be a very tired man, Bob.
I don't think I'm anything compared to Des Lynam, who I think is the marathon man of the BBC at the moment.
Yes, I mean, the athletes in Los Angeles must be fairly tired, but I mean, it has been a long, long stint with a lot of TV coverage. Has it been a good experience for you?
Oh, it's been great for me. It's been, I think it's been great for many people, really. Particularly Britain. You know, we finished up with 37 medals, which puts us 5th in the table. That's terrific going.
Wonderful. Let's take a look at some of those closing moments.
Hello, good morning to you. The Los Angeles extravaganza, as you've heard, is over, and in the final event, the marathon, there was another medal for Britain. Pictures of that in just a moment. But first, a roundup of the other 3 events that took place overnight at the Olympics. In the individual show jumping, American Joe Fargis took the gold after a jump-off with fellow countryman Conrad Homfeld. Britain's Michael Whittaker, who had one of only 2 clear first rounds, met with disaster in round 2, and he missed out on the medals. Britain's Chris Snowd finished 7th in the platform diving in his 3rd and last Olympics. Greg Louganis of America won the event, his 2nd gold of the Games, having already won the springboard. America's last gold, their 83rd, was won by Tracy Ruiz in the synchronized swimming solo. She'd also won a previous gold in the duet. But it was the marathon which, as always, created the most interest. Britain's trio of Charlie Spedding, Jeff Smith and Hugh Jones were among those fancied for a medal. But when the distance is 26 miles, 385 yards, anything can happen.
It's one of this big city's spaghetti junctions. And the athletes on the top level.
Charlie Spedding in the lead, looks as though he's stretching them now. They've got just over 4 miles to go. For many, they say that 4 miles or 22 miles in the marathon with 4 miles left, 22 miles is the halfway part, because the last 4 miles really are the physical test.
And Seiko is surely going through that rough period that all marathon runners must experience surely somewhere. And here's the break. Carlos Lopez getting away now from Charlie Spedding and John Tracy. He's a magnificent athlete, and indeed the Portuguese are producing athlete after athlete at distance. And this is the vital move now for the gold medal. And one hopes it doesn't discourage Spedding and Tracy too much, because when somebody goes away from you like that, the self-doubt is there, and you begin to wonder, will I get a medal? How far behind are the chasers? Can I hang on? So, the Olympic champion of 1984 disappears in the shadows of the tunnel, shortly to emerge in this vast arena. And John Tracy is not waiting. John Tracy has made his bid, and Charlie Spedding is now about 10 metres adrift. And here is the Olympic champion in the marathon for 1984, Carlos Lopes of Portugal. "37 years old. The cross-country champion of the world. The second fastest man in history at 10,000 metres. An athlete who's been near the top of the international lists for nearly 20 years. John Tracy, the former international cross-country champion, being chased by Charlie Spedding for the silver medal. Just the finishing straight to go for Carlos Lopes. Well inside 2 hours, 10 minutes. And Lopes, 37 years old, takes Olympic gold and a new Olympic best time. But now, what about the race for silver and bronze? Will it be Tracy? Will it be Spedding? And look, there's about 10 metres difference, but that's the difference between silver and bronze. Spedding is trying to close, but it's not going to happen. The green vest of Ireland, worn by John Tracy, who takes the silver medal. And for Great Britain, a fine bronze for Charlie Spedding of Gateshead Harriers.
Yes, a terrific effort from Charlie Spedding there. So many memories, so many great performances in the 23rd Olympiad. Daley Thompson, Carl Lewis, Valerie Briscoe Hooks, you could go on and on. But it seems that it's not always the gold medalists that appeal to the watching millions. For instance, Irish hammer thrower Declan Hegarty has been a smash hit, literally. Having already demolished the protective netting once in practice, he proceeded to show that it was no fluke.
Hegarty of Ireland, the Irish record holder, already has a reputation in this Olympic stadium. He demolished the hammer-throwing cage in warm-up. There was a hold-up whilst it was rebuilt. Oh, and he's done it again! He's taken the whole of the netting off the left side of the cage. So out of 3 throws in there this morning, 2 of them warm-up, he's taken the cage apart. And there'll be a hold-up again. Let's just have a look at this. It's a very fast circle, and perhaps he can't control that. He's moving very, very fast, and his balance goes towards the end here, and he hooks it to the left and takes the netting off, as you can begin to see. And that may not be the first time that they have to rebuild if Mr. Hegarty has anything to do with it. 70 metres and 56 his best throw, and he's certainly capable of going beyond 72 metres if he can get it right. Oh, he hooked it badly, and he's taken the cage, almost taken the cage down again.
I love it, I love it. That was one of the amusing moments, and you know those weightlifters, they've created a few moments as well. I think that we can enjoy a few moments and a few of the amusing times that they've provided.
Can't hold it. This is the Austrian policeman. He's going off the back of the platform. Back on the beat. Tries again. 380 pounds. Oh, this time he's dropped it on his foot.
Can you imagine dropping one of those on your foot? More Olympic action in about 40 minutes. Finally, congratulations to motorcyclist Eddie Lawson, who's become the new world 500cc champion by winning the Swedish Grand Prix at Anderstorp. Yes, he's American as well. Here's your racing tip for today, courtesy of Richard Pittman. Bruni Baby in the 2:15 at Nottingham. Bruni Baby, the 2:15 at Nottingham.
I'm desperately trying to find something in one of the papers this morning which, if you've got Olympic fever, if you've loved the Olympics or if you've hated the Olympics over the past few days, you'll just love this photograph in the Daily Star. I don't know whether we can get a shot of that. This is a member of the Luxembourg archery team. And if you have a look at him, you will see from the size of that pot belly that you do not need to be fit to take part in the Olympics. There's hope for us all yet, isn't there, Bob?
There is certainly, yeah.
It's almost 6:45. In the next 15 minutes on Breakfast Time, here's something that might be fun to have with your chips. On the phone or in person, join in the Breakfast Time Saucy Postcard Caption Competition.
Well, hello there. In a moment, the morning's main news stories from around the northwest. First, though, we have some travel information for you. Now, if you're using the M6 motorway, be warned that a contraflow system is operating between junctions 23, the East Lancashire Road intersection, and junction 25 near Wigan. And the one between junctions 32 and 33 north of Preston is still in operation. Do take extra care there because there were a number of accidents over the weekend. We have some news for ferry passengers. The St Columb I will arrive in Liverpool this afternoon after being delayed by a mechanical fault. As a result, there'll be no sailing from Liverpool today, but the service will resume to Belfast tomorrow. The North West Water Authority meets today to consider further restrictions as the drought continues. Car wash firms have objected to legislation already introduced, and the government inspector will hear their views at an inquiry in Bolton tomorrow. Meanwhile, workers at Camel-Led Shipyard at Birkenhead will be asked to express their views today on the continuing sit-in by 120 of their colleagues. A mass meeting of workers laid off as a result of the protest has been arranged for this morning. The sit-in demonstration is over redundancies. But an engineering factory at Trafford near Manchester, which announced redundancy some time ago, is now enjoying a change in its fortunes. Redpath Engineering is recruiting up to 40 people and asking other staff to work overtime because of a recovery in orders. The firm says its order books are full for the next 6 months and new investment is being planned. A man will face Birkenhead magistrates this morning charged with murder following the death of a 39-year-old man early yesterday morning. Anthony Wallace of Balliol Close, Bidston Village, died of multiple stab wounds after a dispute outside the Buccaneer pub on the Ford estate at Birkenhead. The Isle of Man Steam Packet Company says reports that it's going to close its Douglas to Fleetwood service next summer are pure speculation. The company has also refuted suggestions that it's going to shut its Douglas to Liverpool freight service. That's the news. Let's have a look at the region's weather prospects now. Any mist or fog patches will quickly clear away to give